always carried a lighter, which allowed them to make a fire to keep warm on the cold night. The next day, when the rain stopped, the couple planned to leave quickly. But when they reached the shore, they found that the sailboat they had left behind had vanished without a trace. This shocked them. They had clearly dropped the heavy anchor. So how could the sailboat suddenly disappear? Without time to think, the two hurriedly drove the dinghy hoping to find the sailboat. But at that moment, the husband suddenly turned off the engine because he knew that with just their dinghy they could never find the sailboat. Since that was the case, it was better to save some fuel. He then picked up the oars, planning to check the other side of the island. However, the two suddenly discovered that the island was home to countless penguins, since penguins live in the southern hemisphere. So from this, they concluded that the island was not far from Antarctica. Soon the man climbed to the top of the mountain because he wanted to stand at the highest point and search for the sailboat. But what was despairing was that, aside from the endless sea and this island, there was nothing else to be seen. They had no choice but to return to the base and stay there temporarily, praying that a passing ship would notice them. Surprisingly, not only were there some shellfish on the island to fill their stomachs, but there was also plenty of fresh water to quench their thirst. The two were finally able to stop whiling about food for a while. Then they took apart some of the wooden planks from the camp, and with their tacit cooperation, please spelled out a distress signal on the mountaintop. This way, if an airplane flew overhead, they would be able to spot them trapped here. 10 days passed in the blink of an eye. After surviving on shellfish for so long, the two's bodies began to show signs of abnormality. They were in urgent need of some fat to maintain their bodily functions. For survival, they had no choice but to turn their attention to the penguins on the island. The wife covered her eyes, unwilling to look directly. But when it came time for dinner, she ate even more eagerly than her husband. One day, a month later, the husband suddenly heard his wife shouting loudly outside. It turned out that she had spotted a cruise ship on the sea. This was the closest they had come to being rescued in the past month. Without thinking, the husband hurriedly dragged the dinghy into the water and then put the engine on full power, heading towards the cruise ship. But what was despairing was that, before he could even get halfway there, he discovered that the dinghy had run out of fuel. At that point, he was already quite a distance from the island. In an instant, he fell into despair. When the next day arrived, the wife could still not see her husband's figure.